Roofers, you may have been inspecting roofs wrong this entire time. Today, I'm going to show you how to thoroughly assess a property to ensure that insurance doesn't deny you guys and you guys have all the evidence for any storm claims you may need. Or if it's just retail, how to make sure that you do a really thorough assessment to give the homeowner the most value as possible. Before we jump into it, we actually got this deal by running Facebook ads. So no knocking was involved on this. We literally have just been getting deals texted straight to our phone. If you want to know how we do it, check out the link below and claim our 10 free ads, the best ads that have been performing for us across the board over the nation that have been able to help roofers get 100K a month in Facebook ads. It's absolutely free. Just fill out the form below and we'll be in touch. All right guys, so keep in mind, when we do our inspections, we're not just looking at the roof. I know like that's the sweet spot of all the roofers. Everybody's super excited to get on the roof, but we want to do a really thorough inspection for the homeowner. So we're giving them a really accurate report on the storm that has affected their house. So I like to treat the house like a book, right? Start left to right, do a full 360 perimeter on the ground inspection. We're gonna check gutters, we're gonna check garage doors, siding, soffits, and any miscellaneous windows or anything like that that we can reach. So we're here on the front left of the house. Let's go ahead and chalk up this gutters right here. Now you can see a hit right there. It's just about waistline. It's questionable. If an insurance adjuster were to come out here, it'd be questionable, right? So we really want a hit like what you see up there. Even then, it's kind of questionable, you know? So we don't want to mislead the homeowner and say there's damage when there isn't. Truth is, it would be questionable. Typically, I like to have a tool belt with a flashlight, a measuring stick, a roof gauge, tape measure, not measuring stick, your chalk, of course. But if you're just starting out, we're gonna keep it simple with just chalk today. Now, if you had a flashlight, this would be perfect to just boom right there. You know, you can just kind of put your flashlight and start looking on the garage door for any dinks. But you can also just kind of run eye level and see if there's anything there, which there is not, so that's all good. Of course, we'll check up here. Nothing obvious, and you can always just run a line of chalk there to see if you see anything, but there's nothing obvious. Once we actually jump on the roof, we'll be able to see kind of the direction that the storm came in, if any at all. Okay, cool. So we have our front marked up. So now we're going to take pictures. Now, I always try to take as many pictures as I can. I really like to feel like I'm actually on the property when I'm sitting at my computer. And so 100, 200, 300 photos, don't be shy, guys. All these pictures are money, right? We want to really paint a case for the insurance and give them as little reason to say no as possible. If you guys want to see this exact gallery, I'm going to leave a link below to where you can see every single picture I took. That way you have some sort of reference guide or an idea on how many pictures to take, what to take. I'm literally taking as many pictures as possible in each little 1/8 sections. You know, I want to get the soffit's okay. I want to get the window. There's nothing that's triggering any red flags here, you know? So we want to make sure that we document that and let the homeowner know exactly what's going on as well. All right, guys, we got all our pictures in the front taken care of. Now we're just gonna check the side here. There doesn't appear to be anything, there's nothing obviously sticking out here on the gutter. As you can see here, we're relatively fine, right? Always check the fascia, because a lot of the time the fascia may be dinged up, and if you catch it right in the light, you should be able to see what's going on. Another little tidbit is most of the time you don't have to worry about it, but just documenting the type of AC unit it is and sharing it with the homeowner is just a little value point that builds trust and authority with them as you're doing your presentation. Cool, so we're gonna do this exact same process all the way around. If we find anything interesting, we'll show you, and if not, we're just gonna go ahead and jump on the roof. All right, guys, the next stage is gonna be our Eave inspection. So we're gonna jump up here, and here's a little value for you guys. Most of the time, as long as your municipal has adopted IBC or IRC 2018, they're gonna require ice and water behind the soft wall. So right here, from the wall, that's 21 inches. A code requires ice and water to be 16 inches behind the soft wall. So if we can prove we need this run of ice and water, because we have 21 inches right here, and then another run of ice and water in the back to be compliant with the building code, insurance will cover that, and you're gonna give your clients a fantastic product. Another thing we're gonna check while we're up here is the gutter line. We wanna see if we can see any dinks, obviously, any evidence of hail, and if we do, we go ahead and chalk it up and show that to the insurance company. Last thing we're gonna check is the layers and what's going on underneath the shingle. So here, it looks like it's got starter, drip edge, and synthetic felt. So this is a really high quality product. The shingle is a little bit aged as just standing up here, but yeah, that's basically what we're looking at here. Now, let's jump on the very top of the roof and show you guys what we're doing up there. All right, guys, so we're finally up here on the roof now. Make sure that you've taken pictures of all the elevations. Take a picture of your eaves, your gutters, the run, what's underneath the shingle, and really have thorough documentation before you even jump up on the roof. Now that we've jumped up on the roof, we're about 120 pictures in. And so what I like to do is I like to get on the corners and just take a full 360-degree angle of pictures. It's like picture here, 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 and then do that on every corner I can reasonably get on. That way we have a full grasp of all the components that's going on. We know, like, well, first of all, this is hilarious right here, because this and this, typically you only need one sort of ventilation system. So this is hilarious. Either you do like 2 or 3 of these or like 10 of these on your roof. So make sure you guys get educated. If you contact Lamanco, they have really great trainings, and they're typically happy to go in your office and educate you guys on the whole thing. So that's hilarious. Side tangent aside, we can see that the roof is relatively aged here. A lot of aging going on the roof. So while there is storm damage, it's questionable whether it would be covered on the most recent storm. What you really want is like, and we're gonna have to return when it's dry to actually get like a really good view of the hail that's up here, because unfortunately most of the roof is wet. We can't really tell what, like, the hail is kind of hidden basically. And so we'll come back when it's dry, and what we really want to find is circular black spots. Now if it's gray, it's aged, it's been in the sun too long, it's not going to count. Like, well, if you have a good carrier and the adjuster's cool, he comes out here, he'll write the whole thing, it's fine. But we want to make this as foolproof as possible, right? That's the goal, in case you guys get State Farm or Allstate out on your roofs. You want to be scientific and methodical with your procedures so that you're like, hey, this is literally hail. I know that there's age, wear and tear here, but this is genuinely hail. And even if they don't approve it the first time, as long as you have thorough documentation, you will be able to get this full thing approved through supplement process, as long as you bring it up the ladder with enough evidence and a good case on why the roof should be replaced. So let's mark this up and we'll kind of show you guys what we find up here. All right, guys, as I've said before, it's really hard to get a really thorough like damage assessment here. But just because I know kind of what hail looks like and what it feels like, we can at least circle something to like paint a bare minimum case here. So right here, you can literally feel the shingle give. Like, it should be pretty solid, you know, but like right here where hail's impacted, it has a lot of give, you know. It's literally like giving. So the fiberglass matting underneath has gotten soft. That's what hail looks like. Now, whether it's recent or not, that's a different question. And typically, the way we measure these, and kind of insurance standard, is they like to do a 10 by 10 square. Get technical and measure it out, that's fine, but once you've done it a time or two, you kind of know how much you can go up and down. Across the board, what we're seeing is insurance likes about 8 to 10, even more hits per side. So as long as you can prove that, you're golden. So you just pull your square, circle here. If you can get 10 hits per side, this thing's approved, as long as they have good insurance and a good deductible. Now, we also chalk up the soft metals, but we're not gonna be able to show you guys that because, of course, it is a little bit rainy today. But the soft metals tell the story, and they're what we call collateral damage, that there has been hail on the roof in the past. Same with the vents, same with that. Again, having these two types of vents is hilarious for me. And also, check out this flashing system. This is 1000 IQ flashing. They try to do like a cricket, but when you build a cricket, you want to put 2 pieces of plywood up that meet in the middle. That way it diverts the water, and you have to frame it appropriately. But this is just the most hilarious attempt at diverting the water. There are some, you know, there are some roofers up here one day, they're like, man, ain't nobody gonna be up here. Just go ahead and throw it like that. That's a disservice to the homeowner. So we're gonna do a really good system when we put this back on, but that's super funny. So we wanna check the valleys, see if there's anything on the valleys. Every single component up here is gonna be one single line item in the insurance scope of work. So if they don't include valleys and there's valleys up here, we wanna make sure that we're letting the insurance know like, hey, there's valleys up here. You guys are paying to restore the property to like and kind of what it was. Can you please add valleys? Additionally, it's best practice to put ice and water in the valleys as well, because this is where snow and ice build up during the winter. All right, guys, so we have the full 360 of the roof. We have our test squares. We know that there's been hail up here. We've tested the soft metals on the vents. And now the last component that there's gonna be up here is gonna be these pipe boots. We wanna just document them and show that they're up here because this is something we do wanna replace when we do it as well. Right there, you'll need an electrical boot. It won't just be a pipe boot that slips over. It's actually gonna be like a dressed pipe boot, and they call those electrical boots. Now, one thing about that chimney there, insurance actually doesn't, unless it's code, they're not owed a cricket, right? It depends county by county where it actually is code. It's just best practice to go ahead and install it anyway because it's so inexpensive. And as well, put a really nice chimney flashing all around the chimney as well. That way, the whole system looks great. When you get up here, it's nice and pretty, and you can really stand behind your work and brag about it on social medias. Cool, guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and document everything. And like I said, that link is right there in the description just in case you wanna walk through what my photo gallery looks like. And of course, we're explaining the whole thing to the homeowner when we get down. So we're explaining to them the story that we've seen. Here's what we found on the ground. Here's what we found up here. This is hilarious on your chimney. You're telling them what's going on, you know, because you're supposed to be the expert and professional that they can trust. They don't know anything about the car, right? So they rely on a mechanic that they trust to tell them about the car. Same with the roof. The last thing after we've taken our pictures and go down there is checking the attic. Now, we want to make sure that there's not space decking. And what I mean by space decking is when you jump in the attic and shine your flashlight up, either there's going to be solid OSB sheets that are really butted up against each other, or there's going to be like plywood strips, and that's going to be like stacked on top of each other. Now, if there's a 1 inch gap, or I think it's a eighth inch gap, something like that, well, then we have to measure that with our handy dandy tape, take a picture, and then show it to the insurance that this whole thing is going to need redecked, which is great for the homeowner because solid sheathing on their roof really goes so far as future leaks and everything like that, if the roof ever were to get compromised 20 years down the line or whatever. Look at that shingle, guys. It's a presidential shingle. It looks so pretty. It's like, you don't see those all the time. That's what you call a bi-laminate. Prestigious shingle, a lot better. You know, they're the cool kids on the block for sure. And then the guys on the other side have a 3-tap, so that's hilarious. It's like you get the best shingle, the worst shingle on each side, and then like it's like the happy medium, but this one's aged and stuff, so. All right, guys, check this out behind me, right in there. Let me show you guys. You see that right there? Oh, let me see. How does this math? Right there, okay. Right there, right there. That's where some fascia has blown off from a homeowner. Now, fascia is actually relatively easy to install. All you need is a breaker machine and a roll of aluminum. And if you get the roll of aluminum in that color, it's relatively simple to literally do the whole run. So if you guys can invest in a breaker machine, I highly recommend you do, because that way you can do roof, fascia, and just become the one-stop shop for your homeowners and really bring value to them throughout this whole process. Okay, guys, inspection is done, but our appointment is not done. 1, we need to show the homeowner what we found, and 2, we saw damage while we're up there on the neighbors, so we need to go and talk to them and see what's going on with their roofs. Because yes, it's nice and dandy to get your appointments texted straight to your phone with Facebook ads, but what separates the real roofers is being able to do a hybrid model where you're still knocking around your appointments and being able to generate interest. Like, hey, I'm an invited guest in this neighborhood. What is up? You want me to check you out too and help you out?
I got some little beautiful rocks here. Okay, they rocking the Chiefs. No soliciting sign. No soliciting is always a good one. I think it's very fun, actually. Until they scream at you, and then it's not. But, hey, we just inspected the next door neighbor, and they actually did have damage, so we can see that. Oh, no one's home. Finished an inspection, 2 houses down. Have you guys had a free inspection? Or have you had your roof looked at basically after the storm?
Not recently, but I don't have time to talk about it today.
No worries, no worries. I'll tell you what, you think I could probably just try to, just at this time, Monday, just check around, see if I can do inspection?
You could try.
All right, thank you. Have a good day. So she is set for Monday. It's raining right now. She said she don't have time, but she said come back Monday. So there's 1 for 1. It's like, I haven't, but I'm not right now. As you can see, it's raining, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no worries. I was like, if you want, I can come back Monday. I think it's going to be good. I can come back around this time. She said, you can give it a try. I'll take that.
All right. All right, guys, that's as easy as it is to do the field appointment. Obviously, we showed the homeowner basically what we found on the roof, explained the whole situation. If there's legitimately damage up there, it's going to be very tough for an insurance carrier to outright deny it. Now, they can delay it, but they cannot deny it as long as we have a thorough assessment and proof. So the last thing we got to do is put together our inspection report, put an estimate together, and include a meteorologist report to submit a claim. And sometimes if you submit all those together, they just buy it outright because they're like, wow, this guy did a really thorough inspection. There's no need to send anybody out. A lot of the time they're going to send somebody out. Like, it's only 10 or 20% of the time they buy it outright, so don't hold your breath. Now, of course, if they deny you initially, there's tons of ways to submit re-inspections or take it above the adjuster that went out there. Maybe he was just having a bad day. Maybe he's behind on quota for the month, so he's got to deny you. Just as long as there's legitimate damage, there's always a way to get it approved and legitimate coverage as well. If you guys want to see how I do repairability assessments or write exactimates or write my reports or anything like that, comment below and I'll make a future video going in depth on all these topics. Appreciate you guys. If you liked the video, drop a like. If you didn't, drop a like, comment, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.